Hello and welcome to the Rad Heart episode 3. We're sorry we missed you last week. We had some stuff going on at home and we had to be out of the house. So just in the process of packing up and making things happen, we did not get to our video. But we have been planning and we're excited for what's to come. And today we are going to talk about big dreams and COVID. So we want to make it a little bit about Eli's sort of experiences during COVID, but particularly some things that came about this past week. We had a lot of time together and Eli had an appointment that was kind of important that led to some conversations that we had. So first, Eli, do you want to explain a little bit about what COVID has done to kind of your plans and sort of what you've been doing basically in the past year?
Yeah, definitely. So I'd say starting off in 2020, I was in college, just finishing my freshman year. And it basically started with cutting off school, like in class, school, and going online. That was kind of the beginning. And once that happened, I knew that I started to know more that I didn't want to go back to school the next year, because I knew that COVID would ramp up even more, and especially it being in the fall, it getting worse. So that kind of just started that thinking. And then starting in like late summer-ish, beginning of the fall, I got a job with Foot Locker. And so I worked there for like maybe a couple months, like 2-ish months. And then we kind of had a COVID scare in the family. And so that kind of sparked an alarm within kind of just like my doctors, and them just kind of monitoring me even more and wanting me to be more safe. So that's when I went on personal leave of work. And so starting, I believe it was around mid-September, was when I quit work. Not quit, but stopped work, went on personal leave. And since then, I've basically just been at home doing my thing, hanging out. Not much to really do, just being bored. So, yep. And then recently, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I had the appointment my mom is referring to is a career counseling like meeting online. And so that was really helpful, because we talked about like ways to not exactly go back to work, but small ways to maybe start making money. Like she said, Uber Eats would be fine for me to do, and just things like that. So that was kind of a big like way of giving me hope that my life isn't over. Like me living a normal life isn't over with COVID, because like we talked about my dreams and like what I want to be in the future and stuff like that. So it just kind of gave me hope that there's still a way for me to get to where I want to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember when you got off the phone, that was my dad and I's biggest question to you was, well, how do you feel? Like, how did it make you feel?
Yeah.
And that's what you said. You said, I feel hopeful. And that was that's all we want for you, because it has been difficult. It's kind of been a roller coaster, and even with school, we encouraged Eli to go to his teachers even before everybody went online and not go to class, but try to keep up without actually being in class. And so he did his best in that. And then it went to online, and it was just difficult. I think some kids, some adults, a lot of people online is just more difficult. And so that was hard for Eli. And we knew he was kind of showing interest in getting a job rather than going to school, taking a break from school. So we knew that might be a conversation we'd have to have. And then it ended up starting sooner because of COVID. And so with last week, or with your appointment, with the work we were doing on our house, I ended up doing some painting. And so I was painting one day, or I think it was the same day, and I said, hey, I'm reading this book that is really helping me, because I'm kind of in a place in life, the kids being raised, my first dream was raising my kids, but now that they're raised, I'm kind of find myself in a place where it's been difficult for me to find where I want to work, or what kind of career I want, or I love volunteering. I've always done that. I'm still doing that. But can I make that bigger? So I've been exploring my own dreams and kind of where I want to take that. I don't think my dream has changed, in that I think for me, I like to make people's lives better. I think that's for me. I want to encourage people. I'm an encourager, and I like to encourage people to live the best life they can. And I've done that for my kids, and now it's just shifting that to a new place. And so it brings me to a lot of things, but I have a friend, her name's Krista Hutchins, and she has a book club on Instagram that she does with her doanewthing.com, and it is Read a New Thing. And her Read a New Thing was a book called Dream Big. Sorry, you can't see it the right way, but it's from Bob Goff. It's written by Bob Goff, and I love Bob Goff because he's super funny. Honestly, his life is outrageous. He does things that you just would never do, and sometimes it's a complete bomb, and sometimes it's an absolute phenomenal success. And so his stories are so much fun to read. So I read that fairly quickly, and he has a framework in it. And it's really good because it fits me being in a new phase of life, but it also fits Eli in his sort of just really doing his first, round of stepping out and following his dreams. So that day, after he had his counseling session, I said, hey, why don't you sit with me? Because I just read this really great book, and it has a framework of kind of how to really sit down and see who you are. It kind of has you think about who you are, what your gifts are, where you're at, and then what are your dreams. So he did. He sat on the dining room floor with me while I was painting the baseboards, and we did it. And so that's what I encourage you to go read the book, because it's awesome for any phase that you're in. Kevin's going to do it with his men's group. They do kind of a book club, and so they're going to do it. He's going to lead it in his next for their next book club, because I just think it's wonderful. The stories are great. Like I said, super inspirational. He really makes you want to do more and live bigger. And so thus Dream Big. So Eli and I sat on the floor, and I kind of explained to him what I did. I went through and thought of who I am, and being older and having kind of done this work, I came up with plenty of things. And Eli had a harder time, right? That part you didn't like, thinking about yourself. And so tell me why you didn't like it, though.
Probably just because I don't think about myself. Like, I don't focus on myself, or at least try not to. And like we've kind of said in previous videos, I'm more like a server. Yeah. Like I'm more like to serve people and like help people than myself. So,
and that's why we were going through and thinking of them together. And I said, well, don't, make sure you're service minded. Put that down. That's how you are. And that is what he is. He's a good friend, a good brother, a good son. He does think about others. So that alone, and you having a hard time figuring out who you are, says something about you and how much you think about others. So I thought that was good, but it's important that we know who we are, so we know where we're good, what we're good at, and what we have to offer. So then the next step is, where are you? So that was a really good one. For me, I'm an empty nester. I really have always desired to have my own business. And so I'm kind of at a place of contemplating that. So then, Eli, for you, what did you put?
So for me, I put like, especially my current situation, that I'm stuck like in life, but yet it's beyond my control because of COVID, like because it's mainly COVID. And so that's just kind of nothing I can really control. And then I put that I have a car, because that's like that's one positive, is that like I have a car, even with all these bad times. But yet, like with being it out of control and stuff, like out of my control, I'm still happy. And as we discussed, like with my career appointment, like I'm hopeful still. Yeah. And so like, even though whatever's going on, like currently I'm still happy and hopeful and have things to be thankful for.
Definitely. And I can say through all of this, I think every parent's worried with how life has changed for their kids, of all ages. You're worried they're going to be depressed. They're going to be, what's their attitude going to be, and how are they going to navigate it? And Eli has honestly, kept a really good attitude. And I think that that's something Kevin and I have expressed to each other and to you, like how happy we are, because he's not been a bear to live with at home, having home, because it is time to be independent, and you want to figure out life on your own. And he's stuck here, and he had a taste of it, and he'll get that again, but right now, the safest thing for him to do is to be more cautious, and for us to be more cautious. And so then the next step is, what are your ambitions? What do you want? Or your big dreams? What are your dreams? And so I loved this part, because in the book he goes into real detail about once you write down everything you've ever dreamed of, he has you categorize them, and he really helps you pull them apart, see how they relate. And so I really like that part, because I thought it helped. Sometimes our dreams seem like, oh, this is crazy, I can't do this. But when you write down everything you've ever dreamed of being, or every ambition, you can see that a lot of them fit together. So Eli did that, and we talked about the different categories, and basically small, medium, large, because small seems to be more attainable, and large seems to be bigger, kind of the big things. And so do you want to share some of your dreams?
Sure.
What are your dreams?
So like, I'll go like small, medium, large. So my smaller ones are like, I guess I only have two, but working being fun. So like when I go back to work, or usually like looking forward, I want my work to be like fun, and I want to be able to do it every day. So like I wake up every day and like am excited to go to work. And then my second one is, I want a round circle driveway at my home.
And tell me why you want that, because I think that is fascinating. Why that's important to you?
Because, well, first off, I feel like a round circle driveway kind of is a sign of a big home, like a fancy, nice home. So like, I just like how it goes in a circle, like how you can have a garage, but then you can park your cars like on the side of the circle that's close to your house. So like when people drive by or whatever, they can like see through the trees or whatever's in the middle of the circle, like at your cars. Or you can like line them up cool and get cool pictures or whatever. So those are my small ones. And then my medium ones are more like work. So I want to own rental properties to make as a source of income. And then man, I only have 2 of these too. And then my second one is have multiple sources of income. So like being able to have that job, but then own property to have that income and do something else, or have multiple sources of income in case one falls down or whatever. I don't know. And then I have a lot of large ones.
Well, see, but that's good because this is called Dream Big. Yeah. So you have a lot of big dreams.
So like some of like the working large ones are like maybe own my own business one day, be financially stable to buy almost anything I want, and then specifically like buy exclusive things.
Eli likes exclusive things.
Yeah, I do. Let's see. What else?
Okay, so can I tell you 2 things that I really thought were cool?
Yeah.
So one is beautiful wife and kids. As a mom, that's a cool thing that he wrote that down. I did not encourage that. I did not. And then the other one was travel. I did not know that Eli had a desire to travel. So I loved that because I learned those 2 things. And I will tell you a secret as a mom from kids, as a mom, just in general with kids. I have learned more about my kids when I have read their writing from school or something like this. He wrote this down. He did it on his own. Then I learn oftentimes in conversation. So I love that, I've always encouraged my kids to write because it's the best way to kind of learn about yourself and it's thoughtful. It's a very thoughtful way when you write. When you're talking, sometimes you just talk and you don't think as thoughtfully. So, so I learned something and it was just really cool to see this about you, Yeah. So what else? So doing this, how did this make you feel? Because we did it in the same day.
Yeah.
As your appointment. So you were already feeling hopeful. How did this encourage you? Did this help you get focused? How did it?
Kind of, yeah. I guess like, I don't know, just wanting like this stuff. Like, because to me, I don't really like the word dreams. Because I feel like dreams is like when you're sleeping and it's not really attainable. I feel like dreams is something that everybody has, and like, I don't know, I just don't feel dreams can be attainable. I feel like for me these are more like check marks or checkpoints or like achievements almost.
Yeah, he used the word ambitions.
Yeah.
So that's where I think it is. I think your perspective is very common because dreams do seem more ethereal than real.
Yeah.
So I totally I get that completely.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So so then the book also goes on to like help tell you to find the people that help you achieve your dreams and just different aspects of that. It talks about failure. It's just a great book. So Dream Big by Bob Goff. And so we just wanted to share that because I know COVID has been difficult for a lot of us. And I just think it's important we don't lose focus and we don't lose the fact that, we still have things that we can accomplish. We still can talk about and dream about. And something that's a big thing that Bob Goff talks about is telling people, what are your dreams? Because somebody might know something or be able to help you achieve that dream. And that's a big thing. I think a lot of us, I know me, and I don't know if you've thought about this, but for me, I keep my dreams secret because I don't want it, because they're dreams. It's too big to like talk about. It's like you said, so my ambitions or whatnot. So, so I think that this week has just been a super great week for us. We kind of had the opportunity just to have some conversations started by the career counselor, and yeah, I'm just really proud of you for being hopeful and, doing what you can, and looking at the positive,
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to say about it?
Not really.
No? Okay. So we have some great plans for Heart Month, which starts next week. National Heart Month. And for us, while many have Valentine's Day, we do still celebrate Valentine's Day, but it is CHD Awareness Day, Congenital Heart Defects Awareness Day. So next month, we have a series that we are going to do on siblings. And Eli, why don't you tell us why you chose siblings?
I guess I chose siblings just because they're kind of a big part in my life, and they've kind of, obviously my mom and dad were like, my mom birthed me, so like they've been through it all, but like they've also been there, like through the whole thing, because they're both older, and I think it's gonna be cool to get their perspective on everything and what it's like to live with a sibling with a heart condition. And so I don't know, I just thought it'd be cool to get both their perspectives, and
yeah, they have been a huge part of your life, and you're right, they have been through most of it just like you have. So yeah, so next week you can tune in and we will begin our series on siblings. And we thank you for staying tuned. And for those of you who missed us last week, it was very sweet for us to hear, because we didn't know if anybody would care. So, so that was very nice. So thank you for listening to the 3rd edition of the Rad Heart, Big Dreams and COVID. I am Jennifer, also known as Heartmaam.
And I'm Eli, also known as the Rad Heart.
See you next time.
Bye.